everyone! Welcome back to my little corner of the internet, and it's Eurovision week! How exciting! So my plans are to make shorts recaps for semifinal 1 and semifinal 2, and then a full recap, opinions for the grand final. But in the meantime though, I thought I could merge what I do here mainly on this channel with the festivities of Eurovision and talk about Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga. This movie is a Netflix original that came out in 2020, the 1 year where we didn't have Eurovision because of reasons. It tells the story of Lars and Sigrid, an Icelandic duo that dreams of winning the Eurovision Song Contest and their adventures when they finally do get to compete.
Ever since we were children, we've had one dream:
winning the Eurovision Song Contest.
I have to say that I initially had no interest in watching this movie. It's an American movie starring Will Ferrel, so my immediate thought was they're going to make fun of it and get everything wrong. Well, color me pleasantly surprised, because while they did make fun of it, they did so lovingly and they only got some parts wrong. So good job there. So let's start with what they did right. I think they got the campiness of Eurovision right. The costumes and the songs were pretty accurate. This is also thanks to having so many cameos from actual Eurovision participants. That was really, really great. I think the addition of all of these cameos really brought warmth to the movie and made it more legit. And also the cameos didn't stop with artists, but also with commentators. So that was really sweet and fun and exciting to see. I also really like that they showcased Iceland as so eager to win, even though they cannot feasibly host the contest. I thought that was pretty accurate for many small countries. Malta and San Marino are in the same boat. They try hard and they don't half-ass their participation, but there is no way that they'll be able to host if they win. It's really endearing, and I applaud them for giving it their all, even though they know they can't host it. Also, overall, I thought the story was sweet, and we do get to see so much of Iceland, which is always a good thing, because Iceland is stunning, and I really, really, really want to go. We also get to see a bit of Scotland, which is wonderful, because I also really, really, really want to go there. So double points there. I think the humor was good too. Most of the jokes didn't feel like they were at the expense of the competition. It felt like we're laughing with you, not at you kind of humor. Oh, and the insults thrown at Americans were great. No notes. So what did they get wrong? Well, I think a lot of the wrong choices were most likely made for cinematic or budgetary reasons, or plot convenient devices. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, they make sure to inform us that the winner of the contest gets to host the show the following year, which is correct. But then the contest in the movie takes place in Scotland, even though they also make sure to point out everyone hates the UK, so 0 points.
Everybody hates UK, so 0 points.
Which, until last year, was pretty accurate. So then how is the contest in Scotland? This isn't a sporting event where the UK gets to cheat and send 4 different teams. Side note, how is that not cheating in sport? What if the US sent a representative from each state? We have, the California soccer team and the New York soccer team. That's not really fair, UK. You can't just send a Scottish team, a Welsh team, an English team. Not cool. They don't do that in the Eurovision though. UK is represented by one artist. So then my question is, which country won? Is it the situation that we're having this year, where the UK hosts on behalf of a different country, but they don't tell us which country? So I'm just left with so many questions. It could have easily been solved by placing the show in literally any other European country. And when I think of plot conveniences, I'm guessing, Scotland is pretty north up, so going from Scotland to Iceland is not that far, which is necessary for the second half of the movie. But then they could have just put it in Sweden or Norway or Denmark. You know what I mean? It would have been close enough to still have the same conveniences and also make sense. plot-wise and Eurovision-wise. So I guess maybe it was cheaper to film in Scotland. I'm gonna go ahead with that one. Then we have the issue of the scoring in the semifinals. So I mentioned this in my Eurovision rules video here, but basically there is no score announcement during the semifinals. They usually just say, and now in no particular order, here are the countries advancing to the finals, and they just read out the list with tension building, obviously, but there's no announcement of each country giving 8, 10 or 12 points, and then also give like this whole thing only happens in the finals because it takes forever and ain't nobody got time for that. Imagine going through that 3 times. No. So it makes perfect sense in real life to not have it, but I understand that for like movie mechanics they wanted to build that extra tension and have the countries actually give points. It's a bit weird and a bit jarring for people who have watched Eurovision. And not to mention that they give points in advance some of the big 5 countries, which again, they automatically qualify for the finals, so they don't get points. They don't even perform the entirety of their song during the semifinals. That one was weird because that one is not even a plot device connected to anything. They just mention that Spain gets points and you're like, why? And this movie was in association with the EBU. So why didn't the EBU send like a knowledgeable person to set and be like, hey, you can't have Spain in there. That doesn't make sense. Whatever, I guess. It's not whatever. I'm gonna keep going. In addition to that, we also have the hosts who were, I don't know where they were from. I understand that they wanted to show like bad hosting because that's kind of something that is common, although, well, yeah, I mean, I guess, not like professional, incredible, super slick hosting, but I don't understand where those hosts were from. Because again, the competition takes place in Scotland. Those were not Scottish people. Those were not even British people, I think. I don't know where they were from. Now, mind you, there was also something that is very plot devicey and I completely understand, even though it's a bit weird, was the whole like process of Eurovision. And what needs to be done to perform. Like they did have the national finals for Iceland, but like things need to be submitted, and obviously bureaucracy is not interesting or fun. So I completely understand why they went ahead and had on the fly type of stage setups and costuming. So I'll let that one slide. But all of these wrongs, I'm not stupid. I'm not particularly smart, but I'm not stupid. I understand that a lot of it was done for cinematic purposes, but it does make me wonder at the end of the day, who was this movie for? Because if you're a Eurovision fan or a Eurovision super fan, you will be annoyed by these discrepancies. But if you're not, then what were all of these cameos for? And all of these shticks. I think the confusion as to who this movie is for is most apparent in the song-along. While the whole scene is very cute and very pitch perfect-y, the choice of songs is weird. There are 2 Eurovision songs in there, right? There's ABBA and Celine Dion. But then there's also Cher, Madonna, and LMFAO. Why? Wouldn't it have been better to have Eurovision songs? Make it a real homage. Make it more impactful and more Eurovision-ish. Instead, it was just this weird mishmash of 2 Eurovision songs and then 3 American artists. That one, I think, was the most jarring to me. They took 2 of the most famous Eurovision songs and then added just fun party songs. And I don't know if I like that. I don't know. I know that I don't like that. The movie is not a dumpster fire. I honestly thought it was gonna be way worse than it was. In fact, like I have watched it several times through the years because it is fun and it can hype you up for Eurovision. But it definitely could have been better. In the end, I feel like the target audience, if I really think about it, is probably Americans that have European friends. It's like a weird attempt to get the US involved, but just watch type thing. Or like, look what our weird European friends are up to. But anyway, have you watched Eurovision Song Contest, The Story of Fire Saga? Do you like it? Do you think I'm being overly critical? Or do you think I'm not critical enough? Let me know in the comments below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and gently press that subscribe button to see more of my lovely face. You can check out some more of my videos here, and yeah, I hope you have a great time watching this year's Eurovision Song Contest, and I hope that your favorites will win. So I'll see you next time. Bye!